Hello fellow mutants, welcome back to another video, and this video will be talking about Miss Marvel. I've watched Miss Marvel. I think that this show is an eh. I don't care how cute the actress who plays Miss Marvel is. This show was eh for me. It wasn't the best Marvel show, and in no way am I saying it's the worst Marvel show. Or the worst part of the MCU. Because I feel like Captain Marvel and Eternals could have been better. And yeah, and I'm saying that this is not the best Marvel MCU thing out there because it was clear from episode 1 that this was directed towards the younger audience. I'm 26, so like younger than that. The acting was alright, like decent, but like I said, I think the overall story and the character development could have worked, like been done better, and I think part of that is due to like I feel like there could have been more episodes, so this series could have more time for to focus on character development and story development. And I've been hearing mixed reviews on the show. I mean, sure, I think like what I think like episode 4 was I liked the most of all of them. Was ever one that had the brother to Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan's brother, getting married. I did find that to be like the best one, partially because I do like dancing, and I do like the dance number, no matter how cheesy some people might find it. I am a sucker for dance numbers. And was like I said, whatever episode that had Kamala Khan's brother get married, I think for me, that's the best one of the 6 episodes in my opinion. But like I said, overall, I think that show is in. So I am going to read this article, right? Because this video isn't only about how I feel about the show. This video, which I will put the link to the article in the pinned comments down below, is about Miss Marvel's co-creator Sana Amant claims critics of Disney Plus series feel their identities are being threatened. How or like critics feel like their identity is being threatened? I have family members that are Muslim, and I do know some things about Muslim because of my Muslim relatives, and I can appreciate the like the feel of the Muslim lifestyle that was in here. I personally don't think it was like heavy handed. I thought it was like they used that in the right areas. Because Kamala Khan's family is Muslim. So I think this show handled the Muslim part very well. It wasn't like too much. It was just the right amount. And they did focus more so on the story than they did on the religious aspect of it, if that makes sense. So I like that. So I have respect for that. I mean, if that makes sense. But how are we? How I don't care how fans are a critic to the how fans feel threatened of because of their identities or whatever. You guys know what I'm saying. Even though I'm talking choppy, I don't know how fans or critics feel like the series threatens their identity. There we go. That's better. That's better. Anyways, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to read. And this was published yesterday, being July 12th. At the time I'm uploading this video, this was published on July 12th. Anyways, according to Sana Amanat, which I apologize if I mispronounce your name. The Marvel producer, perhaps best known as one of the co-creators of Kamala Khan. Oh, so she created Kamala Khan. Okay. Anyways, criticism of the character's live-action Disney Plus debut stems not from the rejection of the series' quality, but rather a widespread feeling among said critics that their identities are being threatened. Okay. Though mainstream media outlets have been more than happy to point out the series' near perfect Rotten Tomatoes score as evidence that the series is a pinnacle of Marvel's production, who would pay attention to Rotten Tomatoes anymore? Who pays attention to that? I don't. I haven't paid attention to Rotten Potato. I want to call them Rotten Potatoes. Rotten Tomatoes since Captain Marvel. This was like what, 2019. But anyways, their claims is distinguished at the best given the fact that the vast majority of the 249 reviews currently posted for the series, though the site curiously only allows users to see 5 total of these positive reviews, only provided feedback on Miss Marvel's first 2 episodes. Even by the media's own standards, a number of noted outlets have asserted that the series' novelty has waned in later episodes, giving way to a disjointed and awkward drama more and focus on quickly ticketing a representation of Kamala's superficial qualities than providing a coherent superhero story, which is essentially my criticism. They just summed it up really good in that last section. The reception is best seen in the recent reviews for Miss Marvel's 5th episode, Time and Again. And that was the episode where Miss Marvel, or Kamala Khan, time traveled. It gives me no pleasure to find this episode a mess, but with resolution of Asha's story leaving us still widely unsure of Kamala's altered MCU power set, and the Clandestine and the DODC not fully developed as villains throughout the show, episode 5 just wasn't as thrilling for me as it attempted to be, wrote Christian Howard in her review of the Den of Geeks. And then, quote unquote, as it stands, I'm looking forward for Miss Marvel's finale, but I'm not as hyped as I was before I saw this particular episode. Likewise, said Jonathan Sim from comingsoon.net, quote unquote, the many ideas in this show never quite gel together the way they should. This may be due to the tragic real-life events of Periton is juxtaposed. I'm sorry, I apparently cannot English right or read properly. Juxtaposed with sequence and superpowers, so heavy in CGI that everything feels artificial. The episode illustrates how the whole series need more breathing time because it has not capitalized on a solid start. Everything is leading to what may be another rush MCU finale. And all audiences can do is hope Miss Marvel can somehow bounce back. Even all the praise he offered the episode, Vulture's Hank Adlaka, I apologize if I mispronounced your name, was forced to admit that, quote unquote, even once the bombast is dispensed with, the episode's lull remained palpable and awkward. An episode filled with meaning ends on a meaningless, tensionless shot of explosion. It almost seemed accidental. is an oddity for a show otherwise so well put together. And yet, when faced with similar criticism of the series, writing as cringe or woke, the latter of which admittedly comes less from the mainstream press and more from an ever growing amount of independent reviewers, Amont has written them off as nothing more than a ranting of angry fanboys. Yeah, great way. Great way to get these angry fanboys uh, to respect you by calling them names. Great, great. I don't even call my critics uh angry fanboys because I kind of at least admit there's some things that I might have done that's worth calling my ass out on. There might be times on my channel where I'm cringy as fuck. Sometimes I mainly try to do that to troll, but there are times when some of my videos may be cringy as fuck. Doesn't mean that doesn't deserve to be called out, and doesn't give me the right to call you guys names or like. Sure, I want to be the best I can be, and but I acknowledge that part of me being the best I can be is criticism, right? Calling people angry fanboys doesn't voice that you want to be the best that you can be. It's pretty much saying, oh yeah, you have criticism? Well, fuck you. Middle finger. Bye, Felicia. Bye, bye, bye. You know? Anyways. That's just my stance. And quote unquote, this is from the Marvel's producer who told NBC Asian America, quote unquote, I think it comes from a place of anger and a sense of their identities are being threatened. If they can't connect with it, then that's okay. I just wish they wouldn't put it down. So what? You're telling me that if I cannot connect to a Ninja Turtle movie, because part of my name is Ninja Turtles. Hell, I'm even wearing a Ninja Turtles shirt. That if I cannot connect with if I criticize a Ninja Turtle movie or so, I'm criticizing Rise of the Ninja Turtles right now. I'm watching the second season. The review for the first season's already up on my channel. Does that make me does that mean that my identity, I feel like my identity is threatened because I dislike the Rise of the Ninja Turtles? Because I criticized Captain Marvel and the Eternals. Does that mean that my identity is? I feel like my identity is threatened because I openly said that I disliked Eternals, Captain Marvel. What other movies I disliked? Last Airbender or Rise of the Ninja Turtles, Ninja Turtles Next Mutation. That I have criticized Kenobi. That I've criticized Disney Star Wars a few times in the past. That I criticized some people on this channel. Does that mean that I feel like my identity is threatened just because I criticize people or content? No. And I doubt that anybody who's criticizing Miss Marvel feels like their identity is threatened. And by the off chance that I'm wrong, by the off chance that people feel threatened, like people feel like their identity is threatened by this show, why? Just why? I don't see. Like, explain to me how you guys feel like your identity is threatened by this show. How? And why? I would seriously like to see how this show makes you feel like your identity is being threatened. Please let me know. I want to know. I seriously want to know. But until then, until I see that people actually say that in the comments, I highly doubt people actually feel the way the this Marvel producer claims. Anyways, Manette then turn to the topic of the series, all aforementioned representation of, and claimed that the show has found a particular audience among similarly Muslim teenagers, noting it's amazing to see how they're internalizing that imagery. And like I said earlier, I got some family members that are Muslim. I have like some friends that are Muslim. If that's a like, if they can connect with the show because it has some Muslim things in the show, good for you. I'm happy. I'm generally happy for you. But for me, who's not belonging to any religion that's more spiritual than religious, I like, even though I have relatives that are Muslim, it being like having Muslim aspects, it I'm like, okay, I'm like, okay, that's cool. Cool to see Mus- uh the Muslim faith getting represented in here. Okay, cool. That's how that's how I am. And I mean, no disrespect to the faith or the people who follows it. That's just how I am. It's like, cool. If it has a significant meaning to you, that's fine. But it's no specific significant feeling towards me. If that makes sense. And then Almanac also says, I just hope it gives them a sense of com- competency that frankly I didn't have growing up, and a sense of connectedness inside of their culture and who they are, because I think it's incredibly important. Again, if you can connect with this show because it has like, it makes some like throwbacks or calls or references to the Muslim faith, good for you. Good for you. I'm happy for you. I'm totally mean that, even though it may sound like being sarcastic as hell. So continuing. The producer also commented on the character of Kamala's best friend Nakia, portrayed by actress Yasmin Fletcher, and how the biggest challenge is making sure that we represented the feminist and strong voice that Nakia specifically has. Okay. 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 Speaking to the story, is this continuation? I think this is continuation. Sorry, I should have stopped. Speaking to the story seen in the series' second episode, Crust and where Nakia runs for the seat of the board of her family local mosque. This is now Ahmed told ABC that was a lovely way of showcasing the mosque and Nakia's role at the mosque, but also the larger context is because so many people have such a specific point of view of what mosque life is. Again, I have some relatives that are Muslims, so I was able to like go to some mosques like as a visitor. Uh, they're pretty cool. I admit it's pretty cool to visit. I do believe that as human beings, we should always learn. And I thought going to the few mosques I've been to in my life was a cool learning experience for me. Regardless of if I'm a Muslim or not, I think that was a cool learning experience. Just to see how some of that religion does stuff. I mean, how that religion does some stuff. It's a better way to put it. Anyways, Cement further revealed that one of the series' main goals was to address how the 1947 partition of India would split the then British held India into a dual state of India and Pakistan, affected women. One of my favorite things when I came onto the show was that this is an anchoring point for the series. This idea of what the person has done to multiple families, but also what is done to women. How often women are forgotten in stories of trauma, but also in the big story and big historical events. It's the women who bear the brunt of the pain, but whose stories are not told. The intention was to say, well, what happened to these women after that? The emotional disconnect, constantly searching for this place called home. So I thought that uh, thought that it was a really interesting way to tell Kamala's story. She concluded. One, do you think? And then yeah. So I don't think people like. I don't think the criticism that's being had towards this show is really um having to do with people being threatened that their identities is at risk or whatever, or their identities getting attacked or whatever. I think the criticism is how they decide to write the story and the direction they decide to take the story and the lack of uh character development per se, or the character development not being as strong as it could, and the story development not being as strong as it could. I think that's where the criticism is going at. Not exactly, oh my god, my identity is being threatened by the show. And if you are one of those people that are saying, my identity is being threatened by the show, please let me know how you guys feel like this show threatens your identity, because I would genuinely like to know. I would seriously like to know. But, that's just me. So, how do you guys feel about this article? Do you guys agree with any of the points? Disagree with it? In general? Let me know in the comment section down below. And again, I will have this article that I read in the pinned comments down below. So if you guys want to read this without having to hear my voice, you guys can. But with that said, let me know what you guys think about this article that I just read. Love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Be kind to one another. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace. I love you all.